What are the best strategies for expats to build wealth in Portugal? They can be divided broadly to two different buckets. One bucket would be investing outside of Portugal. And expats in Portugal, they have access to tax schemes that give them the benefit of an exemption on their foreign income or certain types of foreign income. So if you're an expat and you're investing outside of Portugal, whether it's in real estate, whether it's in shares that pay dividends, whether it's in financial products that pay interest, and recently under the new tax benefit scheme, EFICI, in securities that provide capital gains, all of these things will not be taxed in Portugal, or can potentially not be taxed in Portugal if you are eligible for one of these tax benefit schemes at all. So that can be very lucrative. You move from one country to another, to Portugal, you invest the money, and then some of your asset classes, some of your income, the foreign sourced income, could potentially not be taxed in Portugal at all. And in certain cases, it will not be taxed in the other country as well. A good example of that is, for example, British people in Portugal under NHR receiving interest or dividend income from the UK. So that the UK doesn't tax that income, and Portugal doesn't tax that income under the tax benefits scheme at all. So if you're an expat and you're in Portugal, the first thing to look at is whether you can apply or receive tax benefits. So if you're in a tax benefit scheme, if you're in NHR, then you can get this exemption. And if you're not in NHR, potentially you can get into the new scheme, EFICI or T3 or NHR 2.0, and get the same type of exemption. And this new scheme also covers capital gains. So outside of Portugal itself has a variety of quality investments. Obviously, it has an ever-booming real estate market. The real estate investments in Portugal have traditionally grown in value significantly and provided excellent returns. Nobody ever knows if that's going to continue, but so far so good, and real estate seems to be performing very well. And real estate investment can be for capital gains, it can be for long-term rentals. Rentals are subject to a reduced tax rate the longer you rent them for, if it's residential. So if you buy an apartment and you rent it for 20 years or more, you can have just a 5% tax rate in Portugal. If it's less, the tax percent is higher, but the longer the time, the lower the tax rate. Short-term rentals, so it also benefits from a reduced tax rate. It can benefit from something called the simplified regime, and there's a coefficient, so an assumption that only part of the income is taxable in Portugal, and it's normally 35%. So normally only 35% of the income is taxable, but then you don't get to deduct expenses. So 65% is a lot of expenses. So if you're running your own Airbnb, you could have a very low tax rate in Portugal. Another very lucrative option that not many people know about is investment funds, particularly risk capital funds, or like venture capital in other countries. They're only subject to 10% tax for Portuguese tax residents. That is a very low tax rate. And then the last option, which is often marketed by financial advisors, is insurance wrappers or unit-linked policies. These are insurance policies that are tied to a particular index or a particular investment vehicle, and they offer a reduced tax rate, and the longer you hold them. If you hold them for 8 years or more, you have potential for approximately 11% tax on withdrawal. So these are very good instruments for tax efficient saving over time, and that is what a lot of Portuguese people are using. These are the main investment options for expats living in Portugal, and good luck.